The Niners need a right tackle. It doesn't seem like they're going to re-sign Mike McGlinchey. Offensive tackles are very expensive in free agency. Very expensive. So if they could get one in the draft, a starter, that would be great. Unfortunately, they don't pick till pick 99. Is there anyone you think that's in their range that you like, that you see?
Yeah, there's a couple guys. One guy that's slightly out of their range and they met with him in Indy. His name's Blake Freeland from BYU.
Is it
Six
Breland? Is it
Freeland, I
Blake
should say.
Blake Freeland?
Blake,
Freeland.
Blake
Okay.
Freeland.
Okay.
6'8", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Then there's the monster kid from Ohio State, DeJuan Jones, who's 6'8",
Yeah.
375. I mean,
Wow.
he's an absolute monster. Jalen Duncan, watch him from University of Maryland. He's a redshirt senior. He's only about 305 pounds only, I say. But he's interesting. And my favorite guy in the draft as far as day 3 sleeper tackle is the Illinois tackle, Alex Pelzuski. And I actually went and watched this guy for, I spent like a half hour watching this guy's film. This kid is really a good prospect. He got an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. Did not allow a sack his senior season. He's 6'6", 315 pounds. He wore 63 for the Illini. Pro Football Focus gave him an 81.4 grade. That was 10th best in all of college football. Finished his career with 713 consecutive pass blocking snaps without allowing a sack. Blocked for Tommy DeVito and Chase Brown, the running back there at Illinois. 65 career starts, really good pass blocker and really versatile. He also played a little right guard. He's played a little left guard. Alex Palzewski, they have him going right around 250, which means he's like late day 3. I think he's probably going to go in the 5th or probably late 5th to early 7th. But that's the guy I really like. His parents come from Poland. And he's like one of these kids that he's just tough as hell and he loves to play. And he's a pretty good pass blocker, really strong run blocker too, I think, at least potential. And he's tough and he's in Big Ten, good coaching. I like him a lot.
Tell me more about Blake Freeland. He just tore up the combine.
Tore it up. I mean, and BYU had a tremendous line. If you watch Jalen Duren, the quarterback there for BYU, he was rarely, if ever, under pressure. I mean, now there's a little bit of a step up in competition, right? I mean, the level that he played at BYU, the players that he's going to block in the NFL are definitely better. But I love him. I mean, he's a tremendous player. He's a great athlete. He's 6'8". He definitely has the frame to put on more weight. He's from a small town in Utah, Harriman, Utah. He came out after his junior year, and or I should say, he was great his junior year. He was a 4-year starter though.
He looks like a much more athletic, younger McGlinchey, but a better athlete to me.
Yeah,
more fluid.
You know what? This guy, first of all, he's a 6-time All-State in track and field in high school. He was an All-State basketball player. He was the team captain on his basketball team, and then he also threw the shot and the javelin on the
good athlete
on the track team. UCLA wanted him, SC wanted him, Vandy wanted him, UW wanted him, and he went to BYU. So well coached, definitely has blocked for in a good offense. I think there's ability that this player could come in and play right away. And I also think that 2 years from now, he could be 330. He's got the frame to put on a lot of weight.
So they do have some available.
Probably going to be a day 2 or late round 2 pick though. So they're going to probably have to trade up, but because he had such a great combine. I think he would have been there for them, Grant, if he didn't blow up the combine. The fact that he did and tackles are so valued. He won't go in the first round, but he's probably going to go in the middle of the second round.
Yeah, why would he fall to the end of round 3 if he's 6'8" and an offensive tackle and a really good athlete? Like, why would he?
Right.
Everyone wants those.
Yeah, and when you watch these guys move around, you can kind of tell like which guys have played other sports and that kind of thing because he moved naturally and very but and it's a good program for sure. I mean, and Jalen Duren moved around a lot, so if you're gonna have your quarterbacks running all over the place, you want to have an athlete that has some speed. Or offensive line has some speed.
I'd like to see the Niners bet on traits and bring in athletes at the offensive line because too often they don't. Like Jake Brendel, that's what they did. He had great athletic testing numbers. He'd never really been given an opportunity, and he ended up being a quality starter who missed no games. Like Spencer Burford, Jalen Moore, Colton McKivitz, these are kind of like tough, gritty, try hard day 3 guys who aren't really not really good athletes. Look at Philly's line. Everyone, Jordan Mailata. Oh my God, he got ran a 5'1" at 380 pounds. Like these are amazing athletes they have on the Philly offensive line, and they're big too. You should be betting on traits. I think the Niners could do better with that. Because they have a great offensive line coach. You can get the best out of them.
You know, one guy who's also a real sleeper who I really love, the more film I watch, you got to watch this guy. His name's Curtis McClendon, and he plays for Tennessee Chattanooga. And he played guard, but I think he could play a little right tackle. He's 6'6", 325.
Okay.
And he's a tremendous athlete. Really, really like him. And also look at the UCLA guys. They got Antonio Mafi and John Gaines.
John Gaines. Let's talk about John Gaines. That's a guy who's projected to be undrafted free agent, but he destroyed the combine.
Yeah. I mean,
did a great job.
Yeah. UCLA gets some blue chip athletes. This guy wore 57. He's a Wisconsin kid who, went to Marquette University high school in Wisconsin, 6'4", 300 pounds,
guard, center, could do either one.
Yeah. I mean, he's the other thing about Gaines that I love, super smart. He earned his undergraduate degree in political science. He's enrolled as a graduate student already.
Nice.
He was on the academic honor roll. So, I mean,
sounds like a center. Sounds like a potential center.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's got athleticism and intelligence. That's I think in Kyle's offense, intelligence on the O-line is a must.
With especially at center, with Nick Zakel, they kept saying, well, he has a master's degree. He already got his master's. It's like, okay, that's great, but is he an NFL athlete? Well, yeah, but maybe we'll see.
I like Nick Zakel, man. I really do.
He's big, but we'll see how he moves.
He's tough.
He's tough. He's big. He's got short arms, so he's got to play center, and he doesn't have that like elite 20-yard shuttle that like Jason Kelsey and Creed Humphrey and even Jake Brendel had. But maybe he can figure out his own way to win at the center position. Nick Zakel.
The other guy that's really interesting that could be there if they wanted to trade up is Cody Mauch from North Dakota State, who's the redheaded guy with the gigantic gap in his teeth. He has played center. He's played guard. He's played tackle. He's working out with Joe Staley. He's another guy. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, but 3 years from now, he could be 6'5", 310, 315. He could be a center to start.
Yeah.
He could be a right tackle. What I love about Cody Mauch is when you watch the film, Grant, it's like it looks like he just wants to annihilate the guy across from him. I mean, he buries people. Really
strong, but he's also moved. I mean, he did really well in the agility drills too, didn't he?
Yeah, McCory's like Larry likes everybody.
No, but this guy is legitimately good. I think he's going to be probably a second round pick though.
Yeah, maybe late.
I'm saying maybe late first. He's legitimately good. He went to the same school as Trey, right? North Dakota State.
Yep.
Double B Studio says Niners need to draft the right tackle, especially when the highest ranked free agent right tackle is Mike McGlinchey and ranked 4th best O lineman. There's nothing good. Also, you never know when Trent Williams is going to hang it up. So it's probably good to just start drafting offensive tackles in general, guys who have legitimate starter traits.
No question. I'll say this. The one guy that I saw in the combine that I thought, oh my God, that's totally Niners written all over him is the Stanford wide receiver, Elijah Higgins, who's really probably a movement tight end. And Elijah Higgins is just an incredible athlete, 6'3", 235. But Grant, they're going to play. He's going to be a movement tight end.
And it sounds like Jordan Matthews. Sounds like Jordan Matthews on the 49ers. Yeah, that sounds like a project.
It's a little bit more natural weight instead of just all in the upper body.
Yeah. I got one question, a quick one before we go. So we're thinking along the lines of what the Niners are going to do this offseason. But I think one thing the Niners are doing is probably thinking, what are the Eagles going to do this offseason? Because that's their main rival, and there's a little bit of an arms race. And the Eagles have a very good roster, but they need running backs. They have Kenneth Gainwell. Miles Sanders is a free agent. Boston Scott is a free agent. They got the 10th pick, the 30th pick, and the 60th pick in the draft. Which running back do you think they'll take? I'm curious.
Oof.
They're going to get a good one.
Yeah. I mean, Bijan Robinson is the star back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas wants him bad. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a star.
I don't think Philly's going to take him.
Jahmyr Gibbs from
Very
Bama,
good.
the Georgia Tech transfer who shared time with JP Mason. I could see him. I could see Charbonnet. I could see Chase Brown.
What do you think of the kid from Texas A&M, Devon? Was it A-Chain?
Yeah, A-Chain. I mean, he to me, A-Chain's not an every down back. He's a returner.
Darren Sproles. Sproles.
I mean, Darren Sproles though was 208, 210 at 5'8". This guy's 185. I mean, he's a ridiculous home run hitter. The Eagles are so good at drafting. I would bet anything they'll wind up with Jahmyr Gibbs, just because Gibbs is such a star. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs,
he's
superstar.
Really good.
Superstar.
What do you think of Charbonnet? He's my favorite.
I love
UCLA.
Charbonnet. 6'1", 220, body lean, tough, can catch it. Yeah, Charbonnet's a terrific prospect. I mean, he
tough.
I mean, Charbonnet started at Michigan, transferred to UCLA, but he's a Southern California kid who played at Oaks Christian, and he was a 4-star high school recruit. He's a tremendous player. I mean, he's a tremendous player. He's played a lot, so I don't know if how people feel about the mileage on him. But man, every time I watch Charbonnet, like, nobody can tackle him one-on-one.
Nobody can tackle him one-on-one. He seems like he'd be a good fit for the Niners because he's got that punishing rushing style that they covet. Not that they're in the market, but
I will say this though, man, this draft is stacked with backs. I mean, day 3 backs. There's so many great day 3 backs in this draft. I mean, it's like Deneric Prince from Tulsa, amazing. I mean, SaRodorick Thompson from Texas Tech, really good. So there's some really good running backs in day 3 that, the Niners are so loaded at running back. I would say running back and linebacker are strictly day 3 for the Niners.
Yeah. And this is an argument why, teams like Kansas City generally don't spend on running backs and wide receivers, is because every year, look at the draft.
Pacheco.
Every year, it's like, look at this guy in round 7. Pacheco in round 7. Like every year, there are like 15 wide receivers that get drafted who are really good. So just something to keep in mind when you have to decide whether to give Brandon Ayuk $100 million. Like,
yeah, you can't. And as far as running backs go,
yeah.
But you get a guy in here who said Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn is tiny for K-State, but ridiculous little return guy. It's just unbelievable. Deuce Vaughn, he's explosive.
Good name too. I like the name Deuce.
Deuce Vaughn.
Remember, I was looking through the Eagles draft history. Remember they took Deuce Staley, 5'11", 245.
Who's a great coach now.
Yes, he is.
You saw Deuce
Staley
with Detroit this year, and I think he just left Detroit to go somewhere else. But yeah, if the Niners could find their version of Isaiah Pacheco, I mean, look how great Pacheco. Pacheco's so good, Grant, that there's talk that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be traded by the Chiefs, and they invested in a first-round pick in Edwards-Helaire.
And what you're learning is I feel how many running backs average more than 15 carries a game in the NFL in a given season? 10, maybe. Yeah. I think what you're seeing is you don't want to wear out your running backs by giving them too many carries. You're better off having a running back by committee. Yep. And if no one on your team's getting more than 15 carries, why are you drafting these running backs in round 1 or even in the top half of round 2? Like, they're not going to make a big enough impact. They're going to be in a committee. They might get hurt anyway. Be prudent at this position.
No more Trey Sermons for the Niners.
No. He's on Philly, though.